Chapter 5, the intellectualization trap. Looking back now, I can see why therapy felt like pushing a boulder uphill for years. Energy work was the missing piece all along. Instead of the slow, barely noticeable progress I'd been used to, I began experiencing powerful and rapid shifts, both during sessions and afterward, through healings with masters that felt impossible to believe. Therapy and medication definitely helped. I'm not ragging on them entirely. Various therapeutic modalities work miracles for millions of people, including myself to some degree. EMDR, brain spotting, and internal family systems. These all contributed to my progress with trauma release and deeper inner child work. But why did energy work blow them all out of the water? The fundamental problem lies in the fact that when one is sitting across from a therapist or nutritionist, personal trainer, or even doctor for that matter, you're speaking with someone who, despite their credentials and good intentions, has never directly experienced the deeper layers of reality that drive human suffering. They operate within paradigms constructed by other unenlightened minds. It's an endless recursive loop of intellectual masturbation, similar to the same institutional parroting loop we discussed in an earlier chapter, where one person echoes theories developed by previous generations of theorists they learned from, few of whom had any genuine understanding of higher states of consciousness, let alone fundamental reality or the infinite. They cannot remove from your system the energetic blockages that create profound suffering, yet remain completely invisible to conventional medicine and are largely unresearched. We are only just beginning to understand the quantum realm as a species, something we will never fully grasp, nor were we meant to. But different healers, mystics, and shamans throughout history have been working directly with these energetic patterns long before we had scientific language for them. Western scientists, doctors, and therapists have zero comprehension of past life karmic patterns, demonic possessions, or vasanas and samskaras, the latter of which are Sanskrit terms for the unconscious imprints and conditioning patterns we inherit from previous incarnations that create our compulsive suffering. These can only be seen by a high level, particularly gifted healer or energy worker. Now, it's not their fault. You only know what you know. And our culture isn't exactly open to ancient wisdom that challenges scientific materialism, at least not out here in the West. But the thing is, these imprints aren't subtle forces operating in the background. They can be, and typically are, rather significant to our psyche and physical health. From my own experience of what I've observed in friends who can, and from what I've observed and what I've observed in friends who consistently do energy work with the right healers, the shift in consciousness and overall well being can be profound and utterly transformative, often happening in as little as one session. I have countless examples of this, many of which I'll cover in later chapters and videos. But for now, I want to mention perhaps the most striking case I've heard. Amy told me about a relative of hers who had been struggling deeply with alcoholism for 15 years, having tried AA, therapy, and every conventional approach available. In a last ditch, throw everything at the wall moment of desperation, this relative, a complete non believer who considered Amy's abilities blasphemous, finally agreed to do a 1 hour session with her. Amy immediately saw an entity attached to this woman that was driving her compulsion to drink, and she removed it. Her relative emerged from that session not only feeling reborn and alive again, but has never touched a drop of alcohol since. Most people keep banging their heads against the same old walls, clinging to endless therapy and meds, while the root rot festers underground. The real work is peeling back the energetic, stuck layers where trauma and crystallized thought patterns and beliefs reside. In 20 years of doing this, I've never seen a person who didn't have something attached to them, Amy once told me. Believe it or not, the choice seems obvious. You can spend years in therapy, doctor's offices, and support groups managing symptoms, or you can address the actual energetic cause of your depression, anxiety, or addiction and potentially resolve it in one $125 session. And of course, the heavy stuff isn't a drive-through miracle. It can take time, patience, and multiple sessions. Even my master mentors still get their wounds cleaned out now and then. As you will see in later chapters, the inner work never really ends. But when those big shifts hit, they hit deep and fast. If you're religious and concerned that energy healers might be using dark magic or going against God's will, let me offer a different perspective. Yes, you should absolutely use discernment. There are practitioners out there who don't have your highest good in mind. So getting a referral or trusting your intuition is really, really wise here. But the healers who achieve the deepest results don't operate from religious dogma. Instead, they describe themselves as channels for divine energy, using whatever language resonates, source, God, archangels, ascended masters, etc., while always focusing on what serves your highest good. They have no agenda beyond alleviating human suffering through pure spiritual healing. I'll discuss various healing methodologies and how to identify trustworthy practitioners later, along with how they actually accomplish this work. For now, understand that it's extremely important to work with those who have higher access to the substrates of the infinite than we mere ordinary folk do. I don't take advice from those less successful than me. Drake. I love that quote from Drake because it really sums it up here. Why would you trust someone operating from a limited 3D consciousness to heal problems that exist in multidimensional reality? Therapy perfectly illustrates this point. I'm focusing on it here, not because it's uniquely flawed, but because the same blind spots exist throughout medicine and science. The core problem is simple. Modern therapy addresses what you're experiencing without even ever seeing the big friggin' part of what's actually causing it, which is exactly why it failed me for years and why it fails so many other people. The intellectualization trap is real and devastating. I have extensive personal experience with chronic trauma healing, and I came to understand how thoroughly I had intellectualized my experiences. One master, Valentina, told me in an email once. It's a survival strategy that enabled three-dimensional functionality while simultaneously inhibiting my ability to release trauma from my etheric and emotional fields, as well as my physical body. That is why embodiment matters more than analysis. The energy of trauma moves at tremendous speed and immediately rejects us from bodily presence, Valentina continued. To achieve genuine release, she said, we must become fully present in our physical form. Notice the arising sensations and engage in slow, deliberate processes of movement and release. She had said the best she found was advanced polarity therapy, where simple yet powerful exercises allow you to identify where trauma is stored in your denser energy fields and then systematically release it through careful, attentive body work. Now, I provide a more exhaustive breakdown, even more so, and as well as recommendations for somatic therapy methodologies later. But for now, let's stick with this point in a more brief manner. It's worth noting that you cannot heal deep trauma through spiritual experiences alone, since that is the other trap of spiritual bypassing. Your body stores the damage, your nervous system holds the patterns. As Dutch American psychiatrist Bessel van der Kolk demonstrated in his groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score, trauma literally lives in our tissues and nervous system, not just our thoughts. That book, alongside Peter Levin's From Surviving to Thriving, stands as a foundational text in the field of healing. Both came highly recommended by numerous masters and seekers alike to me and have been deeply impactful in my own journey. While I can't unpack all their insights here, they're absolutely worth reading for anyone serious about recovery. And while energy work alone won't fully heal deep trauma, that's again the trap of spiritual bypassing. It is flat out the most effective tool in the healing arsenal, especially when coupled with body work and therapy. If you want to take a deeper dive into the signs and pitfalls of spiritual bypassing, and you absolutely should, I recommend the Cosmic Matrix podcast, hosted by Bernard Gunther and Laura Matsu. They take cross-sectional and well-researched deep dives into spirituality, psychology, esotericism, self-work, embodiment, relationships, the occult, and contemporary spiritual issues better than anything else out there. Ultimately, until you lovingly direct your awareness toward what your physical form needs to communicate, and until you help your body release and heal in tangible, material ways, you're just rearranging furniture in a burning house. And the smoke alarm has been going off for years.